Rafiq looked up at the night sky, his eyes reflecting the myriad of stars that dotted the vast expanse above him. It was awash with stars, just like the nights back in his village, where the sky seemed to stretch endlessly, untainted by the lights of the city. But these stars felt different, almost as if they were whispering secrets of distant lands and untold stories. They seemed further away, colder, as if the warmth of his village had been replaced by the chill of the unknown. He was in Dhaka now, a bustling city far from the quiet rice paddies of his childhood, a place where dreams were both made and shattered. He came here with a purpose, a dream that had been nurtured in the quiet moments of his youth. He wanted to go to Canada, a land that seemed almost mythical in its promise of new beginnings, to see its vast landscapes, its towering cities, and to experience the freedom that came with such vastness. More importantly, he yearned to see Ayan again, his childhood friend, who had emigrated years ago, leaving behind a void that only their reunion could fill. Ayan's letters, filled with stories of a new life, had kept this dream alive in Rafiq's heart, painting vivid pictures of a world so different from his own. Rafiq held Ayan's latest letter in his hand, the paper worn from countless readings, each word a beacon of hope. It spoke of snow-covered mountains and vibrant cities that never slept, places that seemed to belong to a different world altogether. Ayan described the kindness of strangers and the opportunities that awaited, painting a picture of a land where dreams could indeed come true. But most importantly, the letter was an open invitation, a call for Rafiq to witness this new life firsthand, to step into a world that had only existed in his dreams. Rafiq was determined to make this dream a reality, to turn the words on the paper into experiences he could touch and feel. He would cross the ocean that separated them, a journey that was as much about self-discovery as it was about reunion. He would see the wonders that filled Ayan's letters, the iconic landmarks that had become symbols of his aspirations. He would reunite with his friend in this land of opportunity, a moment that he had replayed in his mind countless times. Rafiq knew the journey wouldn't be easy, that the path to his dream was fraught with challenges. The visa application process was daunting, a mountain of paperwork and regulations that seemed almost insurmountable. Yet with each hurdle his resolve solidified, his determination growing stronger with every obstacle he overcame. This journey was about more than just visiting a new country. It was about proving to himself that he could achieve what he set out to do. It was a testament to the enduring power of friendship, a journey fueled by hope and the promise of new experiences, a dream that was finally taking flight. Rafiq meticulously gathered the necessary documents, his passport, birth certificate, proof of income. Every piece of paper represented a stepping stone towards his dream. The forms were long and complicated, filled with unfamiliar terms and questions. Rafiq spent hours deciphering them, carefully filling in each blank. He visited government offices, patiently waiting in long queues. He sought advice from those who had walked this path before, their experiences both encouraging and cautionary. Days turned into weeks as Rafiq navigated the labyrinthine process. He meticulously organized his documents, ensuring everything was in order. The weight of his ambition felt heavy at times, a burden shared by countless others who dared to dream of a life beyond their borders. But Rafiq refused to be discouraged. He knew that each painstakingly completed form, each agonizingly long queue, brought him one step closer to his goal. The process tested his patience, his resilience, yet he persevered, driven by the thought of standing on Canadian soil, of seeing the wonder in Ayan's eyes upon their reunion. He imagined their embrace, the years of separation melting away. This image, vivid and powerful, fueled his determination. It kept him going through the late nights and the moments of doubt. The waiting period was the hardest. Each day felt like an eternity, stretching out endlessly before him. The uncertainty gnawed at his insides, a constant reminder of the precariousness of his situation. Rafiq had submitted his application, meticulously filling out every form, double-checking every detail. He had poured his heart and soul into this process, knowing that a single mistake could cost him dearly. His fate now in the hands of faceless officials in a distant land, people he would never meet, whose decisions would shape the course of his life. It was a sobering thought, one that kept him awake at night. He felt like a small boat adrift on a vast, unpredictable ocean. The waves of doubt and fear crashed over him, threatening to pull him under, yet he clung to the hope that somewhere on the horizon there was a shore waiting for him. Days turned into weeks, each one stretching into an eternity. The passage of time became a cruel reminder of his powerlessness. He watched the calendar pages flip, each one a silent testament to his growing anxiety. He tried to distract himself, immersing himself in his work, hoping that the familiar routines would offer some solace. He buried himself in tasks, each completed assignment a small victory against the encroaching dread. Seeking solace in the familiar rhythms of his life in Dhaka, he wandered through the bustling marketplaces, the vibrant streets a stark contrast to the turmoil within him. The city's energy was a temporary balm, a fleeting escape from his worries. But the thought of his visa application, of its uncertain outcome, was a constant presence, a shadow that followed him everywhere. It was a weight he couldn't shake off, no matter how hard he tried. A shadow that followed him everywhere. In the quiet moments of the night, in the solitude of the park. It was always there, lurking in the background, a silent reminder of the stakes. He checked his email incessantly, hoping for news, dreading rejection. Each notification sent his heart racing, a mix of hope and fear that left him breathless. The anticipation was a double-edged sword, cutting deeper with each passing day. He clung to every positive story he had heard, every tale of dreams realized. These stories were his lifeline, a beacon of hope in the sea of uncertainty. They reminded him that success was possible, that dreams could come true. Every tale of dreams realized, every milestone achieved by others, fueled his determination. He imagined the day he would share his own success story, the joy and relief that would wash over him. He drew strength from the unwavering support of his family, their belief in him a beacon in the darkness. Their words of encouragement were a balm to his weary soul, a reminder that he was not alone in this journey. Their belief in him a beacon in the darkness. The silence was agonizing, a deafening roar that threatened to consume him. It was in these moments of quiet despair that he felt most vulnerable, questioning everything. It was a deafening roar that threatened to consume him. The noise of his thoughts, the what-ifs and maybes, created a cacophony that drowned out all else. He longed for peace, for a moment of clarity amidst the chaos. He questioned his decision, wondering if he had been foolish to chase this dream. Doubt crept in, whispering that he was chasing an illusion, that he was setting himself up for heartbreak. He imagined the disappointment, the shame he would feel if his application was denied. The thought of facing his family, his friends, with nothing but a rejection letter was almost too much to bear. But then he would remember Ayan's face, the warmth in his eyes, the promise of adventure that echoed in each of his letters. Ayan's words were a lifeline, pulling him back from the brink of despair. The promise of adventure that echoed in each of his letters. He would read them over and over, finding new strength in the familiar words. They were a reminder of why he had started this journey in the first place. And hope would flicker again, a small flame refusing to be extinguished. It was a fragile thing, this hope, but it was enough to keep him going. He held on to it, nurturing it, believing that one day it would grow into a blazing fire. The email arrived on a day that began like any other. The sun had just begun to rise, casting a golden hue over the city. Birds chirped outside Rafiq's window, and the aroma of freshly brewed coffee filled the air. It was a morning like countless others, yet it would soon become unforgettable. The subject line was simple: Stark Visa Application Update. It stood out among the usual clutter of promotional emails and newsletters, demanding his immediate attention. Rafiq's heart pounded in his chest as he clicked it open, his hand trembling slightly. He had been waiting for this moment for months, each day filled with a mix of hope and anxiety. He scanned the words, his mind struggling to process their meaning. The email was brief, but every word carried immense weight. His eyes darted back and forth, trying to grasp the full significance of the message. Then he read it again, slowly this time, letting the words wash over him. Approved. His visa had been approved. The realization hit him like a wave and he felt a surge of emotions. Approved. His visa had been approved. He was going to Canada. The words echoed in his mind, each repetition bringing a new wave of joy and disbelief. He had dreamed of this moment for so long, and now it was finally here. He was going to Canada, the land of maple leaves, vast landscapes, and endless opportunities. He imagined the bustling streets of Toronto, the serene beauty of Banff, and the multicultural vibrancy that awaited him. A wave of relief washed over him, so powerful it almost took his breath away. The months of uncertainty, the sleepless nights, the endless paperwork, it had all been worth it. He laughed, a sound of pure joy and disbelief. He had done it. Against all odds, he had achieved what he once thought was impossible. The laughter bubbled up from deep within, a release of all the tension and stress that had built up over the months. He was going to see Ayan, to experience the wonders of Canada for himself. Ayan had moved to Canada years ago and had often shared stories of his adventures. Now, Rafiq would get to create his own memories, to see the places Ayan had described so vividly. He rushed to tell his family, his voice thick with emotion as he shared the news. They had been his rock, supporting him through every step of the process. Their joy mirrored his own, their faces lighting up with pride and happiness. Their faces mirroring his joy were a testament to the love and support that had sustained him throughout his journey. They hugged, laughed, and celebrated together, the room filled with an overwhelming sense of accomplishment and unity. The days that followed were a blur of activity. There were so many things to do, so many preparations to make. Rafiq felt like he was living in a whirlwind, each day bringing him closer to his departure. Rafiq booked his flight, the date of his departure looming large on the horizon. It felt surreal, like a dream he was afraid to wake up from. The calendar on his wall marked the days, each one crossed off with a sense of anticipation. He packed his bags, each item carefully chosen, imbued with the weight of anticipation. Every piece of clothing, every personal item, was a reminder of the new life he was about to embark on. He said his goodbyes, his heart heavy with the pain of separation, yet light with the excitement of the journey ahead. Each hug, each farewell was filled with a mix of sadness and hope. As he stood at the airport gate, his passport in hand, he took a deep breath, a sense of exhilaration coursing through him. This was it, the moment he had been waiting for, the culmination of all his efforts and dreams. His Canadian dream was about to become his reality. As he boarded the plane, a smile spread across his face. The future was uncertain, but it was filled with promise and endless possibilities. Rafiq was ready to embrace it all.